And hello.
There we go. All right, we should be live. All
Looks
right.
like it.
Welcome to another edition of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast, where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. I am one of your hosts, Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and we're brought to you today by promoshow.com. And I've got a nice little read for you, some stat updates, if you will. I'm sure you've heard the stats before, but we've got some much more improved stats for you, okay? Promoshow.com has generated 11,000 unique individual users and generating over 50,000 page views, resulting in thousands of connections, thousands of, actual video chats and presentations and, excellent generation of sales. So if you haven't had a chance to check out promoshow.com, you guys really need to get over there. I mean, 11,000 unique users and 50,000 page views is absolutely phenomenal. It just shows you the traction that's being made over there. So you've got to get to promoshow.com and check out all of the suppliers that are exhibiting there in the virtual trade show arena, and get all the latest news and updates from folks like Meg Erber at SNS Activewear. Speaking of Meg Erber, she's with us on this podcast. Meg, say hello to the folks.
Hey, everybody. I don't know why I did like a Kermit voice there. I don't know. I just need coffee.
Oh, good.
It's also, like a Monday today.
Also joined by normal co-host Stephen McFadden from Perfect Promotions and More.
Hello, hello.
And if you're checking us out live on Facebook, Promo Corner's Facebook page, or at promoshow.com, you can also see that we were joined today by John Cudahy with Raining Rose. John, say hello.
Keanu Reeves.
Folks.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Glad to have you here. So today's topics. You did. That's definitely some quarantine hair don't care, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm a little disappointed though. You've shaved the beard a bit.
I did this morning for the first time in about a month and a half.
Why? I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it, fully blown out.
I just didn't want to show you, but
no, you didn't want to show me. You showed me. Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. I mean, I have trimmed mine back as well, so there's that.
There's that. I shaved my legs 2 days ago, so there's that.
There you go. Fair
TMI,
enough.
TMI.
So listen, today's topics, we're going to talk about USA Made and sort of, any challenges that brings to the table or any benefits that it brings to the table. We're also going to get John Cudahy's personal perspective on the pandemic and sort of his take, what he's doing professionally, or unprofessionally. In the marketplace as far as, adapting and what we're doing there. And it's just going to be a nice little dialogue today, guys. So welcome.
Perfect.
Thanks for joining us. And John, why don't you give everybody just a little brief background on yourself, 2 to 3 minutes, no more than that. I'm cutting you off after that.
Well, my name's John Cudahy and currently with Raining Rose, which is a personal care manufacturer in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. About 99% of the products that we do carry, we do in the good old US of A. Been in the industry for 15 years or so. Currently on the SAGNY Foundation board as the chair of the fundraising committee. Currently the SAGNY immediate past president. That's
He's cut off.
That's me. Is that in 2 minutes?
Awesome.
I'm flustered because you gave me a.
I know. I was like, you only have 2 to 3 minutes. John, were you the youngest sitting president on any board ever?
I was the youngest president of SAGNY.
On any board ever?
Well, yep, in our industry, you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know about in the industry, but for the 65 years that SAGNY has been around, I'm the youngest president in history.
I'm younger than John. I think I might have that taken.
Oh, are you? I didn't realize you were president, or did I?
I didn't think you could get to that echelon.
I was president last year at the age of 33, and president this year as well.
Whoops.
There you go.
I pay attention.
Yeah, sure you do. That's all right. CPPA is not in your territory anymore.
I know,
anyhow, this podcast isn't about me. John, tell us more about you. So anyhow.
What's your role at Raining Rose? Tell us a little bit about your role at Raining Rose and how it came to be? Because I'm kind of curious. I know you were a little bit everywhere for a little bit. Somewhere?
Yeah, my career has been a little rocky, recently. Actually, tomorrow is my 1-year anniversary at Raining Road, and I am the Northeast sales executive, so I handle everything from Virginia to Maine. And like I said earlier, we're a personal care manufacturer in Iowa, so we make lip balms, lotions, hand sanitizers, sunscreens, and it's been pretty crazy to say the least recently with everything going on. But being a USA manufacturer, it has definitely helped us be a little more advantageous with everything going on.
Is everything that you guys manufacture made in the U.S.?
Yep, we carry a couple imported items, but like I said, 97, 98% of everything is made in the USA.
So one of the thoughts I had about the made in the USA and why Raining Rose and you came to mind. Obviously, right now everyone's trying to get their hands on PPE type pieces, and I know Raining Rose does a lot of hand sanitizer. And one of the things I think me and you have chatted about was starting to look at producing, converting some of the machinery and doing more sanitizer made in the USA. And I think that's something that a lot of people are curious about. I wasn't sure if you wanted to give us some of the insight as to how that process has been that you know about. I mean, obviously there's a lot of pieces moving there, and everything from making sure you guys don't explode when you convert machines to just that whole process. But do you want to give a little insight as to that?
Yeah, so when it comes to hand sanitizer and ethanol, there's a lot of FDA guidelines that you need to follow. So one of the toughest to manage is how much inventory do you have, when is that shipping, so you don't have more than you're allowed to have. So because we are FDA audited, because a bigger chunk of our business is what we call the contract side or manufacturing for brands in the retail space, we need to make sure that we are adhering by the rules as close as possible. So that's kind of the biggest hurdle right now, is just making sure that we're adhering to those guidelines. Second, the same machinery that we're going to use to fill hand sanitizer, we're also going to use to fill lotion, to fill sunscreen. So it's kind of that, that decision, what are we going to focus on? So focusing on hand sanitizer does lead to, diminished inventory and other capacities. So just trying to balance that has been very, very tough. One aspect where it actually helped us is because of those guidelines, because of the FDA audits that we go through all the time. Safety on the production floor was easy. We were already doing so much with hairnets and gloves and face masks. We did run into this machine that would have 6 workers on it now only has 4 workers or 2 workers. Instead of doing overtime shifts, we had to keep shifts non-overlapping. No employees, on shift 1 or shift 2, because if someone gets sick, now you're shutting down 2 shifts. So these are just easy fixes that we did just to keep everybody safe. And it's been very, very beneficial for us, still getting product out in a timely manner and still keeping everybody safe.
So how have you managed that demand? Because obviously hand sanitizers and face masks, I think, have been the biggest challenge over the last 6 to 8 weeks, probably maybe even longer than that. But I think other than some of the other stuff that's out there, nitrile gloves and whatever, but hand sanitizer specifically, since we're talking about Raining Rose and what you guys are producing, and you're talking about how do you sort of move production from one product to another, like how have you guys managed hand sanitizers, and what's that look like for you guys now?
It gets better by the day. One thing that we did right off the bat is, with the uncertainty coming down, when were we going to have inventory? We didn't want to accept orders while everything was going crazy, because we didn't want to promise something to our clients that we had no idea when we were going to get in. And I think by limiting that availability and just keeping constant contact, letting people know when it was available, pre-selling it, getting those orders out, that really helped us manage capacities in all departments, not just hand sanitizer, but like I said, lotion and sunscreens are on the same machine. So that allowed us to kind of spread it out, give us a better big picture on what needed to get done when. One of the tough things as well is, relying on our manufacturers to get the materials that we do need. Ethanol right now is very, very hard to come by. Well, good ethanol is. I mean, if you get a batch of hand sanitizer and it smells like tequila and wasn't made in a distillery, that is, just unrefined ethanol. And so getting the good quality raws that we needed to produce the product that we would stand behind was definitely a big challenge. On top of that, what we're running into now is just bottle components. Getting a half-ounce bottle or a 2-ounce bottle with a carabiner or whatever it is, our manufacturers can't keep up with it. When this whole thing happened, the supply chain kind of got thrown out the window, and anybody who could get their hands on hand sanitizer and hand sanitizer components were. And that's made it difficult for the people who specialize in that to really put the product out there that can stand behind, that safety, that meets our quality standards. So that's getting better. The components, the bottles, it's still a little rough, but getting a good product, good raws in is definitely getting better, getting easier.
Yeah, I feel like that would be one of the biggest challenges with USA Made is just like the inability to scale production as much as you can, elsewhere. So it sounds like that's probably something that you guys are sort of teetering on as well.
Yeah, and also, like I said earlier, maintaining that quality. It'd be easy to get subpar ingredients in and make a subpar product just to capitalize on the demand. But that's not something Raining Rose is willing to do. We want to make sure that our clients are safe, and in turn, Stephen clients are safe by giving a product that meets all our specifications, meets all our guidelines, both safety and quality.
100%. Meg, you guys have some USA Made product as well, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have any insight or any intake on what's happening with USA Made products and sort of the challenges or possible challenges with that?
Well, I will say prior to COVID, I know I was a very big advocate of trying to get some of our mills that produce USA Made t-shirts to really amp up production. With it being an election year, I was like, if you build it, we'll sell it, basically. We need those core colors, especially the reds, the royals, the navies, whites, grays, blacks. But then COVID hit, and everything kind of on our end was just about masks and how quickly we get them. We need them yesterday type thing. So last, 2 months now, it's really been more about masks. But what I am seeing is that now people are wanting more of the USA Made masks, or hey, can I get the USA Made t-shirt so I can cut them myself type deal. But as far as USA Made products, I know S&S stocks about 140, 150 different styles, from masks to bags to hats and t-shirts. But I think just in general, just from being in the PPE promotional product pages and the promotional product professional pages, I don't want to, we are seeing an uptake, I think, in trends of requests for USA Made styles. I know I was actually talking to Megan Zezzo yesterday about this, and I'm going to actually read back to you what she said, because she goes, I think I've been hanging out with my dad and Ben too long, because I am literally just regurgitating everything that they're saying. So basically she just said, sorry, I've been trying to pull up the text here. Sorry. She goes, yes, it's getting harder to trust the products coming out of China with the amount of counterfeit items that have been coming into the US in the past couple months. Also, not to mention, the Chinese government has been purposely holding up medical exports because of the trade war. So purchasing domestic products is just better for the consumer and our national economy. So I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to it. I mean, even with John, like, he's making the products, but the components, like, he can't even, are they all USA Made too, John, the components? For the hand sanitizers and stuff?
The lip balm tubes, the bottles, those are all USA Made too.
Okay.
And people don't want to go overseas to get this. And even overseas manufacturers couldn't keep up with the demand that they were getting. The overseas items that we do carry, we just couldn't get.
Yeah.
Since cleaned up. But I'll agree 100% with you, Meg. I need USA Made hand sanitizer. That's all people were asking for.
Yeah, people don't want to put something on their bodies, especially in personal care items, that is going to go on their face or in their body that's not made here right now. It's just the way it is. I personally don't either.
So Meg, I'm actually gonna.
I know. I'm sorry. I know what you're gonna say.
No. I'm gonna conflict with you a little bit, because I feel like that was a little bit of false information being put out there. I don't think anything's being held up in China because of the trade war. I think anything that's getting held back is there are a lot of counterfeit items. There's a lot of people that are trying to sneak in, like if you're talking face masks specifically.
Yeah.
A lot of people trying to pass in non-medical grade stuff for medical grade stuff. You have to have the right certifications. And, obviously, if you're not playing the game with the Chinese government, then, they're probably not going to let you get it out either.
Yeah.
It's just, the fact in dealing with a communist country. But ultimately, nothing's getting held up because of the trade war.
Okay.
So I'm going to disagree with that. To my knowledge, I could be wrong. I would love somebody, that is more knowledgeable on the topic than myself to prove me wrong. But I don't think anything's getting held up because of that. Couple comments on Facebook. Brett Schaefer says, "Don't F this up, JRBC." Too late. Jeremy Witt says, not to embarrass himself, but wants to know if John could tell him the best hand sanitizer that's out there. His daughter is diabetic and always wants to find a great quality sanitizer for just a go-to hand sanitizer you would recommend compared to all of the other crazy sanitizers that are out there. My only question, I was wondering, cheers, John. And then he said to his question, brand-wise, that is what he was looking for. Do you have a particular brand-wise sanitizer that you'd look for?
So just before you answer this, Jeremy is not in our industry, so he might not understand when we're talking about it as well either. So just, I don't know.
No, and that's really, really tough. I mean, you just want to look for a USA made product and just something clean. The less ingredients, the better. When that comes pretty much to anything. As far as brands go, I honestly don't know. Sorry. I wish I had a better answer for you, but anything fortified with aloe, anything that has as clean ingredients as possible is definitely going to be the best bet.
Fair enough.
So John, curious here. So I know Raining Rose is one of the very few B Corps in our industry. How has that been challenged, I guess, over the past couple of months, just being with that? So much stuff has to change, right? There's a lot of moving parts. I'm just curious, is there been any struggle with trying to maintain that, that certification going through all of the different changes? Has there been a little bit of leeway there, or has that helped you?
No, because we weren't willing to diminish our quality and diminish our product to take advantage of the situation. Nothing's changed there. We haven't changed our stance to put out lesser quality ingredients or buy lesser quality raws to make a product. We stand behind the same set of rules and goals that we always have. And maybe that diminished our ability to capitalize on it. But, that's one thing that we do stand firm on.
Yeah, fair enough. What else, guys?
Well, I do think it's always good to revisit the same points we made a long time ago with the Made in the USA, and I think now it kind of just rings a little bit differently. One of the things we say is just because it's made out of the USA doesn't mean it's not providing USA jobs. I think Jeff can talk to that a lot with the business model you guys have there. Just because something, because it's not a core competency of the USA, you think a lot about apparel. Just the textile, industry isn't really set up here in the U.S. But there is also a lot of other places besides China, Central America and Bangladesh and Turkey. But I think we also have to consider it still provides jobs for the people in the U.S. Right now, I know with the huge focus on the economy being down, I think there's a lot of people that I see two sides. One is I'm scared of stuff coming from overseas because it has the disease, right? That's what I've heard people say, and I'm like, well, we technically have more cases than anybody, so I don't know if that's a good reason to not want to get it. And then two, it's we want to support the economy, and I think that's valid. I think there's that side of it as well. Just not neglecting that stuff coming from overseas will still affect the economy in a different way, but we don't want to take away if there's someone that can do it in the U.S. Problem is the economy side of it. If the economy is down and the stuff in the USA costs so much more, can people still afford it, right? So there's that side. But yeah, any thoughts on just that whole mindset of what should we be focusing on to help in what little way we can in the U.S., where kind of our strengths are as it relates to the industry and made in the USA stuff.
Any day now, John. Any day. This is where you talk.
Anybody?
Brett,
I
told you. Brett Schaefer, I told you. It's too late.
it's too late.
It's already after dark.
Brett threw me off my game big time.
Usually I shut down
that was
Facebook so I
heavy.
can't read it at all. And
That was heavy. There's a
please
lot
repeat
there.
the question?
Yeah.
Oh Lord, that was only a
I
3
think-
minute. It was only a 3 minute question.
I think
so,
that's
yeah,
why we're all like,
Butterflies. I think, presenting those ideas, those made in the USA ideas, I agree with you 100%. There's things we're good at, things we're not good at. I think there's certain instances where cost is going to outweigh quality every day of the week. So I think knowing who you're dealing with, knowing your clients and understanding their needs, like Meg said earlier, if you're putting an inner on your body, I think you want to know exactly where it came from and know exactly who's making it.
100%.
So I think presenting those options, maybe if budget's not an issue, you do both, good, better, best. That's really my approach to every opportunity. And no, you're going to land on something. It may be coming from overseas, but just as you said, Stephen, those blank t-shirts coming in are still providing jobs and providing opportunities here.
yeah,
So
definitely.
our industry, you see it all the time, supporting USA Made, and that's the buzzword right now, and people are going to do that. And then as we forget about what's going on and get over it, it's going to be that same race to the bottom that it has been for as long as I've been in the industry. Sell your soul for 2 cents. So.
Well,
Yeah.
I do think the two things that are especially trending right now are not only the USA Made, but also sustainability. So I think people are industries and products are trying to really sell in those trends right now. And actually Jeremy Picker on our Facebook live feed made an excellent point, and I can't drive this in enough. He said customer service matters. And I'm going to give an example, but made in the USA is not enough for many people. Their service needs to be just as good, if not better, than overseas firms. I've had many bad experiences with made in the USA factories. I think they rest on their laurels because they have the badge. I 100% can agree with him on that. I've personally
me too.
been in a bidding war with a USA Made company with my own customer, and it's just very frustrating. Not only that, as a distributor, you guys have options. Okay, you have options to go from a drinkware company or a headwear company that's made here in the USA or one that's overseas. Before COVID, I think it really was a price matters type deal. Like price outweighed a lot of things. Price outweighed sustainability for the most part. About 10 years ago, there was another big push on sustainability, but it was like an idea that everyone wanted to be part of, but this is $2 cheaper. So I'm going to go with the one that's going to end up in a landfill type thing. So I know that's been a battle, but I think right now with the changes in the trends, sorry, I'm like, what do you guys
That was just a really good comment that came through on Facebook. Finish your talk.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Sorry.
Oh, about the bourbon. Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah. Jason Frank said the only good thing that he's had made in the USA right now is whiskey, bourbon, and moonshine. Hell yes.
hell to the yes.
True.
But yeah, I think it does matter with customer service. And that is a really big part of it. Customer service. Sorry, now you can go.
You're all good. I was going to say that, back to the USA Made thing and USA Jobs. You're 100% correct. I know, shout out to LEAD, rest in peace for this year. That was one of the talking topics that we always took to Capitol Hill when we did LEAD, when we're advocating for the industry as a part of that, is that, USA Jobs, listen, just because, a lot of the goods that are imported because a lot of the goods are imported doesn't necessarily mean that the value add is not being made here. Like 70% of the actual value of the product is added here in the United States.
Yes.
We're importing blank product and then we're adding the value to it. We're adding the logo to the product. There's USA Jobs being supported. We're an industry full of 97% small businesses. We're supporting a lot of folks in this industry, whether the product is being manufactured in the U.S. or not. But absolutely, I think if you can, definitely, USA Made is great. If you've got the time, if you've got the, the budget for it, And yeah, I would also agree. Sustainability is definitely a huge topic right now, especially, with all the disposable masks that have been put out there. That's a big topic for folks right now. It's not the corporate social thing to do to have that much, what do you call it? The brand fill, where
Yeah.
you're just, throwing all that stuff into the waste bin, basically, disposable masks and whatnot. If you're doing something washable, reusable, then you've got that, in your back pocket. At least you're, being a little bit more corporate social responsibility minded, if you will. All right, closing remarks, guys. Meg, anything else to add to the topic?
Well, maybe not to the topic, but I know right now things are getting a little bit better, as John said, as far as production wise, as far as the economy wise, a little bit, as far as just our lives are starting to get a little bit better with the nation opening up slowly. And I know I promised somebody I would do a little bit better on the look, because last year I looked like I had just given up. So I did do my hair, and I am wearing a t-shirt, but I am sporting the 76ers because they're opening up practices, and I'm just so excited. I'm not even a big basketball fan. I just watch sports.
It's sports. Yes.
That's all it is. That's all
Bring
it is.
sports
So,
back.
yeah. All right. Sorry.
I'm
Go
so
Philly.
disappointed. I'm like, this time of year, it's like hardcore postseason NHL hockey. Like, I'm so disappointed we have not had any hockey, man.
Well, did you see they're going to do like a 2014?
Coming back, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but it's something. It's something.
Yeah, it hurts me down deep, but at least there's football coming. Hopefully, knock on wood. Stephen, any closing remarks?
No, I think John made a great point with the everyone normally is focusing on the race to the bottom. I think over the past 2 months, it's been a race for availability, and I think that's going to start to change as availability becomes all right. Now that we have the stuff, let's now focus on quality, because now that everyone has the stuff in their hands and they've gotten whatever they've gotten, they're like, okay, now let's get some better stuff. Now that we've got something, let's go get some nicer pieces. And I think that's where, obviously Rainy Rose has kind of been both. They've been available when they've had the stuff, and then now they're pushing out quality. They've always been pushing out quality pieces. So I think that's going to be a good fit. Appreciate all the comments you had, John.
Yep. Shout out to Lindsay Davis, Alyssa Inkrot, and the whole Raining Rose crew, huh? Nice. John, any closing remarks from you, sir?
Regardless, obviously, let's focus on a USA made, but Meg, whoever said that comment, when it comes down to customer service, that's the key. I mean, there's been many nights where I'm sitting on my couch after a long day and I get a text message from Steve at 10:30 at night asking me a question. Sorry. And, those opportunities when he says, hey, do you have this? No, I don't, but this is what we're looking at. Okay, I'll be in touch. And just providing that level of service, just and being honest and open and doing whatever you can just to keep that level of service as high as possible. That's one of the cornerstones of Raining Rose, and that we hear, every single week about how awesome we are to work with and have a great product on top of that. So
am I on a list?
Up, baby.
Like, am I on a list or in a book over there? Or like if the number rings, like they're not the answer.
This one.
Like a do not call list, but for a do not answer.
Yeah, do not answer list.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
5 p.m. No.
Guys, I appreciate it so much. Again, if John is Raining Rose, you guys are also doing the virtual trade show over at promoshow.com too, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. We have 3 of our outside reps listed, John and Quinn, on there every single day. So stop by, say hello.
There you go. So if you're interested in getting more information from Raining Rose, SNS Activewear, all the other great suppliers that are exhibiting over at promoshow.com, you should head over there and check it out. Guys, I really appreciate you being here today. John, thank you so much. I don't know why, but you're one of my best friends in the industry, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you being on the show today.
It's
Meg,
awesome to finally be on the show and not have to scream at my radio and in my car when you say something.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't get a whole lot of rebuttal from you today, though. I'm kind of disappointed. This was supposed to be a little bit more heated debate today,
We just want to fight. I think we're just literally looking for any type of action at this point.
I'm ready to pick a fight with Meg. Like, seriously, I'm that dumb right now.
I paid to see that. $10 on Meg.
Yeah, I got $30 on.
I have a barn that's open up. You're like an hour, 2 hour stops. Come on up.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you all, and join us next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Sounds good.